Hello, everyone. Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, we're going to talk about what just happened in the Moon Knight series. With the release of Moon Knight number 30, we are now at the end of this series, which leaves a lot of things answered, but also a lot of things that are still to happen. So, let's take a look at the creative team of this issue before we get into this book. This book is written by MacKay with art by Alessandro Cappuccio, Rachelle Rosenberg on colors, letters by Cory Petit. In this issue, as we approach the end, a mysterious new incarnation of the supervillain Black Spectre has been targeting Moon Knight and his allies, including former member of the Shadow Cabinet Robert Plesko. Black Spectre has also been transforming the ground below Manhattan into an enormous resonator. Once activated, it will broadcast a kill sound that will drive everyone who hears insane. After uncovering this plot, Moon Knight, Hunter's Moon, Tigra, Soldier, and 8-Ball stormed Black Spectre's base of operations, the Mount. Moon Knight's vampiric assistant, Reese, was left behind to defend the Midnight Mission against Zodiac, who is working with the Black Spectre. The heroes battle their way through the villain's main forces at the Mount, leaving badly injured Moon Knight alone to confront Black Spectre. After Moon Knight managed to defeat the villain, another Black Spectre appeared and shot Moon Knight multiple times, revealing himself to be Robert Plesko. So there's a lot happening here leading up to the end of the series. Now, if you haven't read this issue, there will be spoilers ahead. So you have been warned. Give me a spoiler sign. So let's get into it. We're just gonna go through beat by beat on the things that happen, and then I'll come back talk about the future of the series overall. So we begin with Hunter's Moon, Tigra, and Soldier, who are now far removed from Moon Knight, even though they're not in danger themselves. They know that Moon Knight needs their help, but they are unable to get to him. Then we also meet up with, that's right, the Black Spectre, who was revealed to be Robert Plesko in the last issue, who confronts Moon Knight, explaining his motivation for everything that he's been doing. We get a flashback to Plesko meeting and working with Raoul Bushman, who was the person that originally killed Mark Spector, and then him becoming a Moon Knight. We also cut back to the Midnight Mission. Here we can see Zodiac as he's taken on Reese and the Midnight Mission, trying to distract from everything that's going on. Now, we do find out here that Zodiac was not aware that if Moon Knight dies, he dies for real this time. There's no coming back. Khonshu is unable to bring back Moon Knight. We cut back to the Mount where we see Plesko just leaving Mark to die because he will be having his he will be setting up the broadcast system to broadcast the kill sound, and there's nothing Mark can do about it at this moment. He leaves, leaving everything ready for Moon Knight to die. It is at this moment that Mark Spector, Moon Knight, he hears Khonshu's final words to him. And I really appreciate this moment. I think that we see that they do have a relationship. And in the end, Mark receives the words that maybe he didn't want from Khonshu, but either way, Khonshu tells him that he is proud of him. Now, at this moment, Mark's resolution with both of his other identities finally resolve to make a move and stop the plans from the Black Spectre and stop the skill sound from going. It is at this moment that all personalities within Moon Knight decide to finally work together because they know this may be their last chance to do so. We then cut to Moon Knight making it all the way to the broadcast system, being able to disable it as he will detonate the building, therefore stopping the sound and saving the city. Even though the sound does go off for a second, Moon Knight is able to do it, able to detonate the building before it is too late. And here is where Moon Knight finally dies. Before we get into the epilogues, let's talk about what just happened for a minute. So we have a lot of different things that still are left unresolved, and we'll see those in the epilogue a little bit. But yeah, this is it. The book has been setting up for a long time now that Khonshu cannot bring Moon Knight back or Hunter's Moon, right? He brought him back once. Hunter's Moon recently died in the book, and he was brought back. But that's where they both learned that Khonshu, because he is trapped in Asgard, he is unable to bring back his fist anymore. Um, Now, Black Spectre was not expecting that this was going to be the case. Zodiac was definitely not aware that this was the case, and they kind of played each other a little bit. With Black Spectre thinking that he had everything under control, and that's what brings us to the first epilogue. Now that Mark Spector Moon Knight has stopped the kill sound from going off and making the city go crazy. We catch up with Black Spectre as he's in New Jersey, only to be ambushed by Zodiac, who is now out for revenge as he stole the opportunity. Black Spectre stole the opportunity from Zodiac to finally kill Moon Knight himself. So it is not very clear what happened. We can kind of infer what was about to happen to the Black Spectre, uh, but we don't know exactly what's going on. Now, we do have a second epilogue, which will tell us the future of the rest of the team. So we cut to the midnight mission a month later, and we see that somebody here is asking for help. They were looking for Mr. Knight originally, but of course, Mr. Knight, as Moon Knight, is no longer around. But we do have the full team. Now, Reese was left in charge of the midnight mission by Moon Knight himself. We saw that a few issues ago. So here we have the new team of Reese leading the team with Hunter's Moon, Tigra. We also have 8 Ball and Soldier. So this is going to be the new team now. I don't know exactly at what capacity we'll follow this team in the book that's upcoming. But I'm very interested because Jed MacKay over these 30 issues had just been building up this team and weaving in and out the stories. In the last issue, I didn't put it in the art, but you do see that Mark is not only being helped by his other personalities, but also by his desire to protect his friends. There's a whole page that goes through all that. Very emotional. It hits all the right notes there. One other really cool thing is that we have a letter at the back from Jed MacKay to the readers. Explains a little bit about how he got into this book, how that ended up happening, talks about the team, and how thankful he is that he's been working on not only this book, but also the team around him. Bringing in artists like Alessandro Cappuccio and Federico Sabatini, and of course Rachelle Rosenberg, adding so much, all of them just adding their own little things to the character of Moon Knight. And then the last thing, of course, we will see in January 2024, Vengeance of the Moon Knight as a new moon rises. Now, we still haven't seen much about this book, so we don't know anything that may be happening. But I'm very excited. A lot of the team, if not most of them, are coming back to this book. So very excited to see that. As you saw in the preview that I did for this book as well, there's so many really cool covers for this book, but I had to pick up the A cover, the main cover, because that is coming straight from the team. Also did pick up the Greg Capullo cover because it's Greg Capullo. But yeah, I am very excited. This may be my definitive Moon Knight run. I've read a few others, but this was definitely the longest one I've read. So, whatever that says about my reading history with Moon Knight. But yeah, up to now, I'm super on board. There's been other amazing teams behind the book of Moon Knight, and I'm sure everyone has their favorite. But so far, this just really hit all the notes. I really like Jed MacKay's style of writing the character, the team that he built around him, and not only gave Mark a mission, but also, and not just the mission, but like an actual mission, and also kind of a family, as that he had someone to protect. So very cool stuff. I guess the last thing I'll say is I'm very excited for the upcoming book, and I'm very excited to see how these artists that continue to work on this book, as they have redefined the character for me. So really excited to see that. So if you have read this book, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. Share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. Let me know what was your favorite part of this Moon Knight run if you read it all. And as always, thanks for watching, everyone. Bye. Bye-bye.